What is good? What is good? What is good? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel. Joseph Conlon here on Monday night, March 14th, 2022. It is Pie Day. Happy Pie Day to everybody. If you're a big pizza fan today, hope you got pizza for dinner or lunch, like myself. So we're just a couple days away until March Madness. The first round games start on Thursday. And literally, I said this yesterday, and March Madness, for me, as a sports fan growing up, is one of the best times of the season as a sports fan. It's just the tournament delivers nearly every single year. Every single year. This 64-team tournament, the 68-team tournament delivers. And this is something I've really never done before here on the channel. I've really just started off on the channel talking about professional wrestling, which I love so much. I love wrestling. I love AEW. But I've grown into talking sports on the channel too. You guys know Miami Dolphins. Sometimes I did vlogs at the Phillies game. Last year we did March Madness. We only did one video for March Madness. So this year for March Madness, we're going to do multiple videos here on the Big Fight Field channel. It's going to be great. We're going to really talk about the in-depth in these games for the first round. And then it was going to be tomorrow, but I actually have a quite busy day tomorrow. I did today too, but I found time later, and then I found time to record and get this up for you guys. We're going to save teams who can make, who's going to be first round exits, who can make a deep run in the tournament. And I'm not talking like, your typical 1 or 2 seed teams. I'm talking like 6 and above, who can actually make a good run into like the Elite 8. But I already told you one of them yesterday. I do think the winner of that playing game tomorrow night between Wyoming and Indiana, which I do think is going to be Indiana. I do think they're going to make a run. I really, really liked what I saw from them in the Big Ten tournament. And I think they will carry that, into the NCAA tournament. But this video is particularly for the games happening on Thursday and Friday. That is particular for Thursday, Friday games. Nothing else. No playing games. Although I do think that, and we're going to go over the matchups, what I like about each. Is it a good matchup for the teams? Lines for all you bettors out there. If you bet, I don't bet. I'm only 19, but I do like keeping track of lines and over unders and stuff like that. I am a fan of that. But for all you bettors, I'll talk about lines, what I like, and all that stuff. But for the playing games, really quickly, I like Texas Southern. I think they're going to cover -3.5. I'd like them to move on and play Kansas and get absolutely blown out. The second game, I like Indiana to win, although +4. I'm leaning toward Wyoming on that. And then Wednesday is Bryant against Wright State. I like Bryant in that game. And then the last playing game, Notre Dame versus Rutgers. It's basically a pick'em. I like Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame to win that game. So those are the playing games, just really fast. But if you have not already, before we get into all of these first round games, if you have not already, be sure to go and tune into yesterday's video where I did my prediction. I actually filled out a bracket while talking about my predictions for each game. And I filled out 6 more brackets. 6 more brackets today. So right now it's Monday. The tournament starts Thursday. I have 7 brackets already. 7 brackets. And I'm probably going to have up to, if I can, I'm probably going to have up to like 15 brackets before this whole thing starts. So it's going to be quite a tournament. I'm very excited. If you have not already, be sure to go tune in to yesterday's video. And also be sure to go ahead and check out my previous vlogs as well with my AEW Revolution weekend. With that being said, let's get into these games. We have, hold on a second, pulling them up right now. There we go. Thursday, 12:15 is the first game. We got Michigan, the 11th seed, against Colorado State. I talked about this yesterday. Absolutely no way Michigan should have. I don't even think they should have made the tournament. I think Texas A&M or SMU isn't more deserving than Michigan. And even if Michigan was going to be in the tournament, they should have had the play-in game and not Indiana. Michigan got Indiana got fucked. And they gave favoritism to Michigan. But not only that, this game is in Indiana. It's Indianapolis. It's not a far drive for Michigan fans, so they will easily make that trip. And they put them in a winnable game. They're facing Colorado State, which Colorado State's a good team. They've had a really good season. I think this is the first time they've been in a tournament since 2013. They lost to San Diego State in the semifinals of the MAC tournament. But the committee gave Michigan a very winnable game. And I don't like that because they shouldn't have even been in the tournament. And going into this one, they are 2.5 favorites, and the over/under is 139.5. And unfortunately, I like Michigan. I think last night I said Colorado State, but I'm changing my mind. This is, I guess, 11-6. I guess this would be considered the first upset. This is my first upset. I like Michigan. And I like Michigan because I think Hunter Dickinson, although Colorado State has a decent roster, I really just think Michigan's Hunter Dickinson, they got some solid players. Hunter Dickinson, Eli Brooks, I think it's just too big for Colorado State. And they also got Devontae Jones, a pretty solid player. And I don't like where they put Michigan. They put them in a winnable spot. And quite frankly, they have more experience than Colorado State does. So I like Michigan State to win outright. Do I think they cover? I don't know. It's tough. It's going to be a really close game. I do think this goes under, though. I do think this game between Michigan and Colorado State goes under. But I like Michigan to win because of the reasons I said. And then the second game, 12:40, South Dakota State. South Dakota State, my upset, one of my upset picks against Providence. Frauds. That team is Providence. Frauds. They are having a good season. They were number 1 in the Big East, but they got absolutely smacked by Creighton by 30 points. Like, you're the number 1 team in your conference tournament, and you lose by 30 points. That just doesn't sit well with me, man. And this South Dakota State team is on the biggest winning streak in college basketball right now. They have a 21-game winning streak going into this game against Providence. Okay? They are one of the best three-point shooting teams in all of college basketball. and they have one of the best defenses. I do not know how you don't like South Dakota State in this game. I love them in this spot. Providence is such a fraud team. I knew right after they lost to Creighton by 30, I'm like, they are first-round exits. That team is not making it past the first round. They are a first-round exit. And luckily or not, they drew South Dakota State. And I don't like this spot for Providence. And I love this spot for South Dakota State. I think they're going to be shooting threes all over the court. And the spread, you got Providence -2. I love South Dakota State. Over under 149.5. It's kind of tough. I'll take the under on that one too. I'll take the under on that game. Memphis against Boise State. 145 start. This is a good game. This is going to be a very good game. You got Boise State. Very good defensive team. Boise State is. Boise State is a very good defensive team. And you got Memphis, who has a very talented roster. They have a very talented team. Obviously, they took a hard loss to Houston in the Atlantic DAAC, their conference. And, they're led by Jalen Duren, their center, DeAndre Williams, Alex Lomax. They have some good depth on that team. However, I think Boise State, and this is multiple games too, although I do think Memphis has the more talented team, I think Boise State has a good enough team to come together, show why they're a good defensive team, and beat Memphis. I do have them beating Memphis in this game. Memphis is a favorite. Boise State opened up as a favorite, and now Memphis is a favorite at -2.5. I love Boise State. And the over-under is 133. So I like the under. 3 under so far from me. Norfolk State against Baylor at 2 o'clock. I really don't think I have to explain this one. It's Baylor all the way. I'm really just not going to explain these one-seeded games. I know we had that one year with the UMBC beating Virginia. I just don't think it's going to happen again. Give me Baylor. Spread's 21. Maybe I'll take Norfolk State. I don't know. Maybe I would like Norfolk State. Probably not. And then over-under. Give me the over. 245. We got Longwood, the 14th seed, against the Tennessee Volunteers. Now, Longwood's having a great season. They won their conference, the Big Sky. They defeated Winthrop, who was in the tournament last year. They faced Villanova. And Longwood was projected, I believe, 7th in their conference, and they ended up winning. So they are having a good season, but you look at their schedule, besides the postseason, they had a great postseason. You look at their schedule and their wins, most of these wins are one-possession wins. So they are barely escaping by these games. They really haven't played anybody tough this year. Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule. They played Iowa in their first game. They really haven't played anybody tough this year outside of Iowa in their first game. And Tennessee is one of the hottest teams right now in college basketball. I think Tennessee is going to make a run to the Final Four, and they're ultimately going to lose to Kansas. That's what I think is going to happen with Tennessee. I think they're going to win their South region, lose to Kansas. They're the SEC champions. They handled Texas A&M easily. I think they're going to handle Longwood easily too. I think this is a blowout win for Tennessee. I think they make a statement to their South region, like we are the best team. We do not care what seed we are. We are the best team in this region, and I think they are going to put a whooping on this Longwood team. They got the spread at 17. I love Tennessee, and the over-under is 132, and I like the over. So that is that game. Richmond and Iowa. Two hot teams. Richmond, 6th seed in the Atlantic 10, defeated Davidson. Davidson missing the game-winning shot. Good for Richmond. They haven't been in the tournament since 2014. Unfortunately, it's going to end in the first round, though. Iowa is one of the hottest teams in college basketball. Their offense has been great. Their offense in the postseason put up 112 points on Northwestern, 84 points on Rutgers, 80 points on Indiana, and 75 points on Purdue. And the Purdue is one. I really like the Purdue team. They have such great size with their center, Edie, however you pronounce it. But Keegan Murray's a beast. He's been outstanding in the postseason. You also got Patrick McCaffrey, the son of the coach Fran McCaffrey. And I think Iowa was disappointed. Very disappointed. I knew they were. When they lost in the second round to Oregon last year, in the, the second round with Luka Garza, I think they're out for revenge, and I think they want to make a run in this tournament. And it starts by beating Richmond. I just don't think this is too much for Richmond, and Iowa is just going to keep pounding the ball and getting more points. Iowa's a 10.5-point favorite. I love it. I love Iowa, and the over/under 150.5. I'm gonna take the under. Although I do think Iowa will have a good offensive game, I don't think Richmond is. So, 4:15, Gonzaga against Georgia State. No explanation for this one. Give me Gonzaga. Give me the points, and give me the under. Really, I don't have to explain this game. And then that's the first half of Thursday games. And we get into the 6:50 game. Oh, I did forget a game. Hold on. I had it all the way at the top of my page because I have North Carolina as my favorite and favorites on CBS. I'm looking at the CBS app while I'm doing this. North Carolina, my Tar Heels, 4:30 on Thursday against the Marquette Golden Eagles. See, I'm going to pick North Carolina, man. I'm going to. I think they're going to win, but they're going to win by one. Or they're going to win by one, or they're going to win by two. You really do not know what team you're going to get when you're watching North Carolina. It's so inconsistent. You can get the North Carolina team that showed up Friday night against Virginia Tech, or you can get the North Carolina team that defeated Duke by 13 in Cameron and defeated Duke in Coach K's last game, his last home game in Cameron. You can get that team. It really depends what North Carolina team shows up on Thursday. Marquette's not no slouch. They're a pretty solid team. They had a solid season. They lost in the quarterfinals to Creighton in the Big East tournament. But you can't sleep on them. And I do think North Carolina is going to win. They got, Brady Manick who I think is really good. I like what I see from him. I like what I see from Caleb Love as well. And we had the high score of Armando Bocot in the last game against Virginia Tech. This game really depends to me on which North Carolina team is going to show up. Again, if we get the Carolina team that played Virginia Tech, they are going to lose by double digits, like they did to Virginia Tech. If we get the team that played Duke 2 weeks ago, they will be just fine. They will be just fine. Now we can get to New Mexico State against UConn. 6:50 tip-off. I like UConn. Ever since I saw a game from them a couple weeks ago against Villanova, I'm a fan. I like this UConn team, led by Coach Dan Harley, a very experienced coach. UConn got bounced out in the first round last year, where I thought they were going to beat Maryland. And, they didn't. It was unfortunate for them. This team's out for revenge. I think this team at least makes it to the Sweet 16 and then loses to Gonzaga. I do think New Mexico State is going to keep this one close, so I would like them at +7, but I like UConn at the end of it to win this game, in my opinion. They're good defense too. Tyrese Martin, excellent guard, love him, and I like the team. I think. Spoiler alert. Once we get to the Vermont-Arkansas game, I like UConn to beat the winner of that game and move on to the second round. The Sweet 16. St. Peter's against Kentucky. I really do not have an explanation for this one again. Kentucky is one of the best teams in the country. I got Kentucky going to the finals. St. Peter's, you had a great run. You had a great run. They're not beating Kentucky. No way. -17.5. I like Kentucky there. And I like the over. This is one of the games I'm looking forward to the most. Thursday night, outside of North Carolina. This is one of the games I am personally looking forward to the most. We got the Creighton Blue Jays against San Diego State Aztecs. I'm really looking forward to this game. I really am. You got two low-scoring teams. San Diego State lost in their conference championship game 53-52 to Boise State, and Creighton lost 54-48 to the Villanova Wildcats. Again, I really think this game is going to come down to what defense steps up in the end. And I think it's going to be Creighton. San Diego State's the favorite. I mean, these 8-9 games, it really doesn't matter. But I like Creighton. I think they're deep. I've been a fan of Creighton for a while now. I'm a fan of most of these teams in the Big East. Really outside of Providence. I like the Big East. Creighton's a good team. San Diego State, a little bit boring. But I think a matchup against Creighton is really fun. I like Creighton. I honestly like Creighton to cover the +2.5. And the over-under in this game, 120. Give me the under. 920. 3 more games on Thursday. Well, we still got the St. Mary's against the play-in team of Wyoming or Indiana. I like whoever wins that game tomorrow night to beat St. Mary's. And then obviously the play-in game, the winner is going to play Kansas. Give me Kansas, obviously. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Vermont and Arkansas. Vermont versus Arkansas. I like. Ooh. This is a tough one. The spread is 5. Wow. Give me Arkansas. I think they're barely going to cover. I get Razorbacks. They just have more depth, and nothing against Vermont. They're veterans this time of year in the tournament, but at the end of the day, Arkansas is just better. Led by Tony, Tiani, JD Node. They're just a better team. I know that's a explanation that sucks, but man, that's a tough one to call. I like Arkansas though. I like Arkansas at -5. I wouldn't be shocked if Vermont covers though, and I like this game to go over at 139. 2 more. San Francisco against Murray State. You know, the spread's really close. 1.5. I like Murray State in this game, though. They've been the better team. San Francisco, they've had their shining moments, rising in the West Coast Conference. Murray State's the better team. At the end of the day, who's the better team on the court? It's Murray State. I like them to win. I like them to cover, and the game will go under. And then finally, Akron and UCLA spread at 14. Dang. I like UCLA. Obviously, the UCLA is going to win this game. But I like Akron to cover. 14 points is a lot against UCLA, who's a great team. But I don't think they're going to cover 14 points. And that's the Thursday games. That's all the Thursday games. And we got a few Friday games to talk about. Then we'll get out of here. My computer is at 30%, and I should be fine. I should be fine. All right. This is the Friday games. First game on Friday. Loyola, Chicago, and Ohio State. Ohio State got the bad luck of the draw this time of the season. Who always comes in clutch? Sister Jean. Sister Jean is clutch this time of season. You cannot beat Sister Jean. I don't even have to give an explanation as to why, what team is going to win and why. I don't have to. Loyola, Chicago has Sister Jean. That's it. That's it. I know it's a bad explanation, but nah. I mean, my real explanation, Loyola Chicago really had a downtime in the regular season, but they picked it up in the conference championship, beating teams like Bradley. They beat the number 1 seed Northern Iowa. They then beat Drake, who they got blown out by in the regular season. They had a great tournament. And Ohio State, man, I don't know, but they've been losing to some really bad teams. They lost to Penn State in the first round of their Big Ten tournament. They lost to Nebraska. They lost to freaking Nebraska at home on one of their last home game of the season against Nebraska. They lost at home. Like, that's unacceptable that time of the season. Nebraska had, I think, 1 conference win going into that game against Ohio State. That's just unacceptable. And they got blown out by 15 points to Maryland. Ohio State took some really bad losses. To end off the regular season. And Loyola Chicago's hot. And you got to ride the hot teams this time of year. And who always gets hot? Loyola Chicago. So that's who we got to take. We got to take Loyola. Jacksonville State against Auburn. Listen. I don't think Jacksonville State is going to win. But if there's a game that I can see a 15 seed beating a 2 seed, it's this game. It's this game. Auburn is not the same team as they were earlier in the season. They're not. Blowing games to Tennessee, Arkansas, Florida, losing in their first game as a 1 seed in the SEC tournament to Texas A&M. Folks, this Auburn team is not the same team. Don't get me wrong. They're a really good team. Jabari Smith is potentially the first pick in the NBA draft. I would love to see him on the Orlando Magic if the Magic get the first round pick, if the Magic get the first pick in the NBA draft. But man, this Auburn team, they're not the same. They're not the same Auburn team we saw in January. They're not the same team. Do I think they win? I do. Jacksonville State covers. This game goes under. And Auburn is a second round exit. They will lose in the second round. Mark my words. What's the next game? Montana State against Texas Tech. Again, I could see Montana State sticking around in this game, maybe in the first half, but in reality, Texas Tech is going to pull away with this game, in my opinion, in the second half. I like Texas Tech, obviously. They're going to win. They're going to cover the 15. And I see this game going under the 132.5. Yale against the team that I absolutely love in this tournament, the Purdue Boilermakers. I know they lost in the Big Ten tournament game to Iowa. I know that. They played a bad game. 17 turnovers. You cannot win a title game with 17 turnovers. It's impossible. But man, they are so big down below. They have one of the top. Well, they have a really good guard in Jaden Ivey, and their center, Zach Edey, 7'4". I mean, that man just go up there and get the ball. And they're playing Yale, who's an Ivy League team, low scoring. They're going to get absolutely blown the hell out by this Purdue team. They're going to get blown out. I'm sorry to all you Yale fans who are potentially watching this. This is a bad spot, and this is a great spot for Purdue. I love it. I love this team. I have Purdue, unfortunately, losing to Kentucky in the Sweet 16. But as far as this game, I freaking love them. Obviously, they're going to win. Obviously, they're going to blow them out by 30. And the game's going to go over, too. Villanova against Delaware. Delaware pulling away as a 4 seed in their tournament. Congrats to them. Unfortunately, they're running into Villanova. Again, won their conference championship, beating Creighton. Colin Gillespie, one of the best guards in college basketball. I just don't think Delaware is going to keep up with Villanova. I just don't see how. I don't see how they're going to keep up with Villanova and Colin Gillespie. I do think they could cover. I will give them that. they could cover this game, but Villanova is going to pull away with it. I like Villanova. It's a tough call for the cover, in my opinion, and I think the game will go over. And then speaking of a game that will be an ugly under, Miami and USC. That game is going to be an ugly under, folks. An ugly under. Gosh. This is such a disgusting game. It's not even funny. Damn. I don't even know. Again, I said it earlier. Hold on. What game was it? It was a Thursday game. It was Boise State-Memphis. This is another situation from the Boise State-Memphis game. Obviously, USC is the more talented team. And I just feel like in this situation, Miami is a good enough team to come together and get a win. And, I could see Miami making a solid run in the tournament. I'm telling you, Auburn is not the same team. They're not making it past the second round. They're going to be last year's Iowa team who lost in the second round. Miami is going to the Sweet 16. They're going to the Sweet 16. They're beating USC, and then they're beating Auburn. It's just the reality of the situation, folks. It's the reality of the situation. I really got to hurry up here because my computer's about to die. Virginia Tech, Texas, basically a pick 'em. I do like Virginia Tech to win. I think the game will go over too. Man, a Saturday night after Virginia Tech won the ACC tournament, I was like, if they put Virginia Tech in a solid spot in the March Madness tournament, they could make a run. They could make an Elite Eight run. They could even make a Final Four run. This team hasn't, but they put them in a bad spot. 11 seed, and let's say they beat Texas, which I think they will. They got to play Purdue next round. And I don't think they're getting by Purdue. So, I haven't beaten Texas. By the way, Texas, struggling team. And if I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. For all of you people filling out the brackets, any team that is a high 1 or 4 seed in the tournament and that lost their first conference championship, their first conference game, has not went on to win the NCAA tournament. Those teams consist of Texas, Illinois, Baylor, and Auburn. So, there you go. Just wanted to throw that out there. Chattanooga and Illinois. Man, I think Chattanooga's going to keep this close. I think Illinois is going to win by like 3 points, though. Illinois just has too much depth against Chattanooga. Chattanooga is a solid team. I've seen them a couple times on TV this season. But Illinois is just a really good team. It just stinks they couldn't put it together in the Big Ten tournament. Andre Carbello, Kofi Cockburn, Coleman Hawkins. They are a really good team. They're going to barely beat Chattanooga, though. I think Illinois will make it to the Sweet 16, lose to Arizona. Cal State Fullerton against Duke. And I'm not going to give lines because I really got to hurry up now. I like Duke. Obviously, Duke has the better depth. Duke is going to have their way with Cal State Fullerton the entire game. Iowa State, LSU. Again, this is such an ugly game. This is such an ugly game, dude. I'll take it. I'll take LSU. I'll take LSU. Stepping up on defense at the end and barely beating Iowa State with this game going way under 127.5. UAB, here's an upset. Is this my first upset on this Friday slate? I don't really consider Loyola Chicago an upset. Virginia Tech, I guess. Yeah, this is my first real upset on the Friday slate. I have UAB beating Houston. You want to know why? UAB, a really good three-point shooting team, and a team who barely turns the ball over. With Texas, who is not really great at defending the three-point shot and is not good at free-throw shooting. And I think those factors come into play. And I got UAB beating Houston, Davidson over Michigan State, Wisconsin over Colgate, and TCU over Seton Hall. Sorry I had to rush through those picks. I don't want the computer dying while I have to edit this and upload it. So that is going to do it for this video. I thank you all so much for watching. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I will be back on Wednesday. No AEW Dynamite, no AEW content this week. I have family coming down. Gonna have a good week with family, watching basketball, go out, all that stuff. I'm very excited. So no AEW content this week. We'll be back with it next Wednesday. Comment down below your first round predictions, upsets, all that stuff. Wednesday, we're going to be talking about teams that I think can make a really good run in the tournament. And, teams that I think could be first-round exits. Well, I basically told you, but we can still talk about it on Wednesday. Hit the like button. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that good jazz. And I'll see you guys Wednesday. Have a good one. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy. We out. Peace.